one of the reasons I created this channel is, one, because I feel like as a young man, maybe in like my teens or my 20s, I wish I had something or an outlet that could kind of talk to me about stuff that would help me to be a better man, as a believer in God. And also, you know what? I know, like, I'm kind of nerdy. I'm kind of a geek. And, you know, I don't necessarily, what is this person doing? Sorry, I'm driving again, guys. I'm not necessarily appealing to the jock kind of guy, or the person that's really cool, that was really cool in high school or in college or anything like that. I am definitely for the bleaks and for the blurs. I'm for the person that, you know, enjoyed anime, enjoyed playing video games, or enjoyed just not doing a lot of the normal social out there kind of stuff. You know, low key, if, you know, things didn't go the way that they did, I probably would be in like that incel camp. You know what I'm saying? But that's something else I want to talk about in another series of videos or whatever. So, you know, I'm reaching out to the other black blurs, young men, and it could be older men too, who just don't fit into that normal category of, you know, a regular jock or super cool or anything like that. We just out here living our lives, trying to do our best while having fun. And from time to time, we probably do watch anime and cartoons and play video games and stuff like that. But anyways, and, you know, we're also trying to live for God. You know, we're trying to live for Christ and do our best to live a pure and righteous life. But there was something I did want to talk about that I find really interesting for those who, you know, other black men. And again, this is open. This channel is open to all black men of different types. Maybe, you know, you are kind of a jock type, or you have been cool, you know, but you're, you know, just trying to look for a way to how can I just be a better black man? How can I get my mental health together? How can I get, you know, just develop as a black man in this culture, in this community, and trying to do it in somewhat godly way, you know. But what I wanted to talk about today is, even with everything that's going on the internet with the manosphere and incel talk and red pills and things like that, something that does come up to me from the stuff that I've heard and the things that I've viewed online is still the issue of purity. And it sucks that in our culture, especially as black men, and I would say men in general, in Western culture, but I know for a fact in the black community, the topic of sex and the topic of how many bodies you've got, and there's different ways of how to describe it, but how many girls have you hooked up with? You know, how many women have you slept with and all this stuff? It's a topic that comes up, and it's still a topic of, I think, struggle for black men, young and old. You know, like, maybe as you get older, you don't talk about it as much, but I know for me, that was sort of a thought. It's like, you know, I'm trying to hook up with these girls, da-da-da-da, whatever. But this idea of having a body count, and, you know, is it really something to be proud of? Is it really something to be excited about? And, like, at this point, I don't have a high body count number. I'll just say that. I will tell you that, and I will be honest about that. But the number that I do have at this point does make me cringe. It makes me uncomfortable, and I wish I didn't have the stories and experiences that I have acquired because of my actions and, you know, fornicating and sinning, you know, just not living life the way God would want me to live. But I have to ask, like, for you, black man, like, does your body count make you cringe? And the thing is, I know a lot of times I've heard that as black men, we don't really think about it or care that much about it until, you know, we get married and until we have kids, more specifically daughters. When men have daughters, it seems to be like all of the guilt, all of that, all of the hoeing that we were doing as men like just creeps up on us and we're like, oh snap, I just gave birth to a little girl who's going to go in this world and have to deal with men who are like me. And that's the only time that we start to cringe. But I think it's important that we start to like analyze and check, how do we really feel about our past behavior or our current behavior when it comes to sexuality and purity? Like, if we're believers, if we are really trying to live righteously, whatever our body count is, it should make us cringe. If it was stuff that's not your wife, not your significant other or whatever, it should make you uncomfortable. You should not be relishing in and be excited about, yo, I've been with this many girls or whatever, hooked up with this many girls, yada, 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 whatever. Like, no, like, your body count should make it like, yo, I was wilding. I was not living well. I was not glorifying God. And I was mistreating women, even though it may not seem like it to you. But if you're going around hooking up with chicks all the time, that's not good for you and it's not good for them. Because there's emotional bonds that tie in, with sexual acts, whether it's full-blown sex, oral sex, or even just like fooling around, whatever. Like, there are emotional and spiritual bonds that are being created. And every body count that you have, every girl that you've been with, that's a bond. Every person that you've been with, you've created this bond, this emotional soul tie is another way that people describe it. It's soul ties. And so, like, if you look at your history, if you look at your path of bodies that you've acquired, that's a soul tie for everybody. That's for every relationship. And whether the young lady that you were with, she was only with you, that's still a bond that she has to deal with. That's still a soul tie that she has to separate. It's something that she has to let go of. And like, those are all ties that you need to deal with and things that you need to let go of. And so if you're going around proud and prideful about how many girls you hooked up with, you need to check that, man. You need to check that. What's going on with your heart? What's going on with your soul? What's going on with your spirit? That you are like, I'm proud that I've created all of these bonds with women that I may not even be in current relationship with. I'm not even going to touch on or talk about, if you've had children out of wedlock or whatever, like, that adds to the complexity of that situation and that relationship. Like, we got to do better as black men, and we definitely got to do better if we're trying to be followers of God, if we're trying to be followers of Christ. This is something that we need to avoid, and it's something that we need to, I think, have a little shame around. This shouldn't be something that we should just be proud of, that we've been in this many however many amount of intimate relationships with women. Like, we need to be pure too. Sometimes we only think about purity culture for women. Like, oh, it's better that she saves herself for her husband, da-da-da. You need to save yourself for your wife too. For those who aren't married or whatever, like, it's important that men guard your hearts as well, guard your body as well. It's not just one way. And sure, in our culture, we like to think about this idea of like sowing your royal oats. Nah, man, you're supposed to save them oats. You're supposed to save that seed for the garden that God has for you, which is your future wife, And so, yeah, I'm talking to my peers, maybe might be in their 30s, or young men who are younger, men who are younger than 30. And I guess if you're older too, like, we got to stop this. we got to stop thinking about and being prideful and trying to like collect bodies, and collect these sexual experience and trying to develop this sexual prowess. No. Like, seriously, I to this day, I still have regrets for how I've been an F-boy and how I mistreated women. And I know for a fact that, like, I know I'm not the worst, but I know I was the worst for those women, and I know that those were like really low moments for me. And so, like, again, I asked that question for you to think about. Black men, does your body count make you cringe? And if it's more than 0, I think it should. I think it should. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to do better for ourselves and for our who we're relating to, especially to women in our community. You know, like, they're not just bodies. They're people. Women are people, you know, and they need to be respected and honored. And we need to respect and honor ourselves by not just going around doing whatever and doing anything. You know, like, we got to work on that. We got to work on that. Anyways, this is just a little rant. But again, that question, you know, regardless of where you are, maybe you are a virgin still, and maybe you're struggling with, you know, peer pressure or whatever, and things that are going on in this culture making you feel like, oh, I need to go hurry up and hook up with somebody. I need to hook up with a girl or whatever. Or maybe, you know, you're living the single life now and a little bit older, and you already have, you already collected some bodies, so to speak. I'm challenging you to really question that. And I'm also encouraging you should stop. you should stop. You should. You need to, like, save yourself for a special someone. You know what I'm saying? And if you're already married, you definitely shouldn't be doing nothing. Catch my drift? Anyways, all right. That's enough ranting and enough talking. And there's a little bit of traffic here. But yes, thank you guys for checking out another video, another episode. If you're listening or watching on YouTube, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Have you struggled with that idea or struggled with that peer pressure of having to have a certain amount of sexual prowess before even approaching a woman, or just with your peers?